As we go to the Word of God today for some instruction, some guidance, we're going to look at something pretty simple in a lot of ways, but simple doesn't always equal easy. There's a song a lot of us grew up singing, and we teach young children, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine." And that's a song based off the teaching that we find in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 5, beginning in verse 14. Jesus says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." So we see Jesus is talking about the fact that we as the church, we as Christians, we are the light of the world. But sadly, I think a lot of us, if we're honest, we do the exact opposite of what Jesus says here. We try to keep our light hidden. We try to keep it, this is just a church thing, or I have private Bible study, or I have a Bible study in my car or at my house. And it's not just about Bible study, or I pray when I'm at home and I don't pray in public. There's a lot of different things that we can look at as to the fact that how we shine our light in this world. And I'm going to talk about one in a minute. But Jesus says that being a light is a very public thing. No one lights a lamp and then hides it under a basket. No, you put it on a stand for the light to work. You put the light up high so that it lights the whole house. And Jesus, remember, said, we are the light of the world. And as Christians, we need to be shining a light ever so bright in this dark world. And I'm going to share some things with you. Remember, I said this is simple, but not easy. It's one thing that the Lord reminds me of constantly. If you go to the book of Colossians chapter 3, this is what the Spirit of God said through Paul to that church, and it carries over today to us. The Spirit of God is still speaking these things to us today. The church of the modern world, the church of our world, the church that we are supposed to be today, the verses that we see still speak to us today. Colossians chapter 3, beginning in verse 12. "Put on then, as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, bearing with one another, and if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other, as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive." Now, I want to talk to you today just for a minute about, again, something that sounds so simple, but it's not so easy, especially in this world today. It's about kindness. See, we can be a light that shines in this dark world by being kind to people. The Bible over and over again calls us to be kind to people, to love people. Again, that's not easy to do. One of the fruit of the Spirit in Galatians chapter 5 is kindness. And it's something that we have to cultivate in our life. It's something we have to purpose in our life. A lot of times I think that we think because we're Christians that these things are just going to be a part of our life. And if we're honest with ourselves, it's just not true. Sometimes in our life, maybe one fruit is more predominant than another fruit, or one fruit may come easier than another fruit, or different things like that, different characteristics of what a Christian should be. May come easy for some, hard for others. But that doesn't mean that we don't try to make it grow in our life. And kindness is something you have to work at. You have to be purposeful. It's not just going to be easy. Like I say, especially in the world that we live in. People are so busy. People are so distracted. People are so self-centered. And I'm talking about myself and all those things. So it's hard sometimes to set myself aside and to be kind to other people. I was in a store recently, and I just had a few things in my hand, and a lady, the lines were backed up, and it was just busy, hustle, and bustle. And a lady in front of me said, "You can go ahead of me." She had a cart, and she didn't have a whole lot, but she had more than I did. And I said, "No, that's okay. I'm fine. I've got plenty of time." And she's like, "Well, if you're sure, I just want to offer it." And I said, "I do appreciate that." I said, sadly, there's just not a lot of nice people in this world today. And she kind of shook her head. She said, I know, and I try. And I said, well, I appreciate that, and that's all we can do is try. And I thank God for that little encounter. It's just little things like that that make the world a better place. And I know that kind of sounds, silly and hokey or whatever, but it's true. It's just little acts of kindness. We a lot of times think as Christians we have to preach some great sermon or be able to guide somebody through the Romans road every time we meet them or something like that. And there's nothing wrong with those things. Those things are important. But we can just be kind to people. We can shine the light of Christ, the love of Christ, through kindness. Now listen to this. This is a verse that you can memorize, a very easy verse. It'll stick with you because it's easy to remember because first off, of the verses and the chapters, it's Proverbs 21:21. You can remember that, 21:21. Whoever pursues righteousness and kindness will find life, righteousness, and honor. See, we have to pursue these things. That's a big misconception in the Christian world today that we're going to have these things. God just supernaturally embeds them in our mind and our heart, so to speak. No, we have to pursue these things. We have to pursue peace. We have to pursue love. We have to pursue righteousness. We have to pursue kindness. So today I encourage you to let your light shine in this dark world. You don't have to make a spectacle of yourself. You don't have to draw attention to yourself. Say, hey, look at me, I've got my Bible. Or hey, look at me, I'm praying. I'm not talking about those kind of things. I'm talking about be nice, be kind. And it's hard. I know it's hard. It's a struggle. That's why Proverbs tells us we have to pursue it. We have to make a decision today to be nice to people. And it doesn't matter if they're nice to us. It doesn't matter how they respond to it. That lady at the store didn't know me from Adam, but she saw me there holding some groceries. And she said, oh, you can go in front of me. My response didn't matter. I didn't take her up on her offer, but that didn't matter. She made the offer. So today, we need to let our light shine in our good works. See, it's a work thing. It's not about earning salvation, but salvation causes us, it changes us. It causes us to be kind. It causes us to want to be kind. It causes us to do the work of the Lord, to produce the fruit of the Spirit. And when we do those things, our Father in heaven gets the glory. It's not about us saying, oh, look how nice I am, or look at what I did. It's not about us. And that lady didn't mention anything. I don't know if she was a Christian. I don't know. For all I know, she could be an atheist or anything. I don't know. But I know that kindness is something that I took notice of. Because the sad part is, I was right that there's just not a lot of nice people left in the world, it doesn't seem. But we can be different. And we can be a light that shines in this darkness. Be kind. Seek out ways to be kind. And again, that was just something simple at the grocery store. Letting somebody in traffic. Letting somebody in a line. Holding a door open for somebody. Helping somebody carry something. Whatever it is. It doesn't have to be some great thing we can do. It can be something very simple. Speaking to somebody. Smiling to somebody. Whatever it is. Know that God gets the glory. And we don't know how we touch people's lives. We don't know what those people need. We don't know what people are going through. My wife reminds me of that all the time. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know the struggle they're facing. Just be nice. It's very simple, but not always easy. So today as you walk in this world, I encourage you, do your best to let your light shine so your Father in heaven will be glorified. And focus and pursue kindness.